Welcome everyone to an awesome best of 3 between two of Warhammer's top multiplayer players, with Hadres taking on ODM Kaalhaarman. So for Kaalhaarman here and the Druchii, in the front for the Lord choice, we are going to have the Supreme Sorceress of Death here nicely hidden behind the trees. Of course, the Widows here has some really nice Lord and Hero sniping tools, so protecting her at all costs is a must. For the toolkit, she is going to have Arcane Conduit, the Opal Amulet, Spirit Leech, as well as Aspect of the Dread Knight, and Life Leeching. For the main battle line, 5 units here of the Bleak Swords, backed up here by the Triple Dread Spears, and for the main punch, we are going to have 3 units of the Shades. So 130 range, Stalk, lots of armor piercing, and 42 speed here, making these a very strong range tool indeed. For the Cavalry, so 2 units of the Dark Rider with shields on the right, a unit of the Kaalhaarman Knights as well for the extra armor and anti-large, and also 2 of them on here on the left, and 2 more of the Dark Riders, so 7 Cavalry indeed, and it looks like here we do have an Arrows of Kurnos coming over the top, 2 hitting here down to 34, down to 33 models, so nice 3 kills there out of the gate coming from Hadres. So, for the Wood Elves here, it looks like we are going to have 2 units of the Waystalkers, both here with Arrows of Kurnos, also here with the Hawkish Precision. Backed up here in the front, it looks like we have 5 units of the Dryads here throughout the middle, and it looks like they are going to be protecting 3 units of the Elite Waywatchers. So these bad boys in the front here, 190 range, Firewalls Moving, and Stalk, coming here with also 30 armor-piercing missile strength per model and 40 speed. It's going to be very difficult here to take down these models when they're protected by a load of infantry. In the middle, we're also going to have the nice anti-infantry war dancers, backed up here by Drycha. Very cost-efficient indeed here with the Rouse to Wrath, Penumbral Pendulum, and also Melkor's Mystifying Miasma. So for the mobility, 4 units here of the Glade Rider Spears, 94 speed, and they have a lot of work to do here to protect the Triple Waywatchers. Now for the infantry, it's going to be 8 here, up against 6 from the Wood Elves, and it's going to be 7 Cavalry coming up against 4 here as well. So these Waywatchers really have to perform, but look at the damage here in the front. These still also have Silver Shields here coming in for the Bleak Swords and the Dread Spears, so they have all the right tools here to do well up against Triple Waywatchers, so they're going to have to do some lovely work indeed. Shades as well with the Stalker are going to be a ginormous pain. They can certainly get nice and close and do some good damage here. So it's going to be a nice fight here between both of the Skirmishing Rangers, and then also here some nice work coming out of the Glade Riders, I hope. So a little bit of a skip on here. We're going to be shooting nicely in the front. You can see 2 units here of the Bleak Swords going to be pretty damaged in the middle. They're going to be getting shot whilst chasing here off against the Waywatchers. Nice shots coming out against the Shades. They're going to be some lovely damage. No kills, but lots of HP damage indeed. Lovely return fire here up against the Shades, down to 56 models out of 60. And it looks like here we are going to get the Dark Riders coming around on the right-hand side. Moving through the riddle, it looks like the Dark Riders are going to be charging down, chasing here up against the Waywatchers. So Dark Riders moving through, aren't they going to catch it? It looks like here the Dryads are not going to be getting in on time. And here we go, arrows coming straight to the face here up against the Dark Riders. They do classic here, looks like a little bit of a nice... Oh, look at that juicy charge here into the back of the Waywatchers. They're going to be catching lots of units indeed. We are going to move in with the Glade Riders, try and see if we can push off the Dark Riders. More of the Dryads coming in as well to clear them out. That's going to be a nice break there in the middle, but lovely damage coming up against the Waywatchers. Arrows are going to be firing still into the front, trying to see if we can wither down that front line. So hopefully when they do hit here up against the War Dancers and the Dryads, they should be weak enough here that they can break pretty easily. Running away is going to be the Bleak Swords. They are going to get chased here by the War Dancers. Oh, Aspect of the Dread Knight. This is going to be a really nice spell. A nice work here coming out of Kaalhaarman. Of course, the War Dancers do pay for 20% physical resistance. So if they come in here, the Bleak Swords with the Aspect of the Dread Knight, they can circumvent that physical resistance. So nice work there coming out of the middle. It looks like here some of the Glade Rider Spears are going to be breaking. Dryads are going to hold here up against the Bleak Swords. In the back, we are going to get a Penumbral Pendulum going straight through here up against the Shades. Nice tactical awareness here coming out of Kaalhaarman. But in the back here, more Dark Riders are going to be clattering onto the back of the Waywatchers. And this is the problem. It's going to be 7 units of Cavalry taking on 4 units here from the Wood Elves. In the back here, we still have some more Kaalhaarman Knights, anti-large armor piercing as well, so they can really thump here up against the Glade Riders. 90 armor, bronze shield as well, so it's going to be very difficult to take down. Pretty much the only targets that can do so are going to be the Waywatchers. In the middle, Kaalhaarman Knights fighting up against Dryads, so we have Dread Spears in here as well. Looks like the double Waystalkers are going to be fighting in combat. Bleak Swords backed up by more Kaalhaarman Knights here up against Dryads. Murderous Prowess going down here. 15 leadership is going to be so helpful here fighting in combat. Looks like here the Malevolent Dryads, the summon here coming out of Drycha, going to be compromising the Shades. Shades are just going to push forward. 42 speed should be able to just keep out of range here of the Malevolent Dryads. In the back here, we can see, though, a very nice compromised unit of the Weight Watchers. Only 20 models left. The one here on the right are going to be 39 models. In the middle, still 45. Pretty healthy indeed. But, of course, here we do have the heavily armored Cold War Knights pushing in the back here with the Dark Riders. And they're just going to be running over the backline range here. They have okay melee stats, but they're not going to be very good here up against oncoming charging cavalry. In the middle here, looks like we do push through with Bleak Swords, and looks like the mass infantry is going to be just taking down here the Dryads. They're very tanky indeed, but of course they're just up against 8 units. It's going to be really, really difficult to stop. In the back, the Weight Watchers, 30 models here, and so we are going to get a couple of breaks. 13 in the back, negative 20, that is going to be a break there. In the middle here, it looks like the Weight Talkers do get free. In the middle here, we could be shooting the Supreme Sorceress to death. That looks to be the choice. She's going to be down to 1,995 HP. In the middle here, looks like Drycha are going to be fighting up against the Dread Spears and the Cold War Knights. Aspect of the Dread Knight has been activated. Only 2 models left here. Looks like here, it's still going to be pretty healthy as the Supreme Sorceress, but she could get sniped if we're not careful. Arrows coming downtown, or lots of damage, down to 1,500 here. So we're going to be very careful there with the caster. She certainly needs to get out of that range. In the middle here, Bleak Swords are going to be chasing off here with the Dryads. In the back here, it looks like the Glade Riders are going to be falling to Dark Riders. And looks like here the Weight Watchers have been pushed to the edge of the map. All of the Weight Watchers here are going to be falling. It's just going to be Drycha left. Spirit Lich going down. As we can see here, an Overcaster does go down, so it's going to be damage up against the Supreme Sorceress. Opal Amulet activated, 370 HP for her. We do manage to compromise the Waystalkers. Melkor's Mystify Miasma is going to catch here on top of the Cold War Knights as they fight here up against the double Waystalkers. 55 melee attack is pretty strong. 325 weapon strength as well. Should allow them to kill models here up against the Cold War Knights. In the back, Bleak Sword's going to be fighting up against Dryads, so the Dryads should be able to win there. Banter power is even, but it's looking pretty bleak here coming out of the Azrai. They're really going to be struggling. Only really the Waystalkers are going to be left. They're going to be fighting up against heavily armored cavalry here. It looks like we are going to be out of control. We are going to be rampaging here. Arrows of Kernos does get activated. Going to be shooting down here up against the caster, and she falls. Great work there coming out of Hadres. Going to be sniping the caster there from Kaalhaarman, but Kaalhaarman here still has 2 units of Shades in the back that can shoot up against Drycha. Banter power is going to be pulling into the Dark Elf favor. It looks like here we are going to be shooting 34 armor-piercing missile strength here for the Shades. Pretty decent melee combatants as well. So 40 melee attack, 32 melee defense. Should be pretty strong here up against Drycha. She is going to have 68 melee attack and good weapon strength, so she can certainly take down multiple models in one hit. But here now she's going to be fighting up against the Bleak Swords. So we can shoot over the top here and do some great armor-piercing damage up against Drycha. In the back here, we saw some Dryads returning. Dark Riders are going to be wavering. We do break and shatter the last unit of Weight Watchers. So excellent work there coming out of Kaalhaarman. 1 unit of the Waystalkers. No, looks like there is going to be 2 left. Both going to be shooting here. They can take down models of the Cold War Knights. It's not over just yet, but we do need to support Drycha. In the middle here, Dryads fighting alongside the Waystalkers. It's looking pretty bad here. It looks like she is going to be wavering in the middle. It is going to be, of course, Mystify Miasma here on top of the Shades. But it looks like we are going to be breaking the Dryad. She shatters. That's going to be army losses. GG's. And well played here to Kaalhaarman and the Druchii. So, Drycha here, nice performance from Hadres in Game 1. 1,020 damage value here for Drycha, with 965 and 680 for the Waystalkers. 220, 400, with 500, 430, and 870 there for the Dryads. 142 kills, 650 damage value for the War Dancers, with 499, 785 and 800 here from the Weight Watchers. Bit of a shame, these bad boys got compromised by so much cavalry and infantry, they really struggled to perform. So the Glade Riders here in the front, 195, 466, and 270 with 327 there for the Glade Riders. An excellent performance from Kaalhaarman, so the Supreme Sorceress of Death, 570 for herself, with 446, 255, 0, and 316, with 804 there for the Bleak Swords. 804 damage value is absurd for sure, for a unit that costs 450. So 320, 280, and 340 there for the Dread Spears, with 820, 1085, and 514 there for the Shades. 520, 700, 507, and 360 for the Dark Riders, with 870, 844, and 1560 for the Cold War Knights. So great game between these two. Let's hop and hit the second game and see what is going to happen. So, for Game 2, we are going to have Hadres here with the Warriors of Chaos, led by Archaon the Ever-Chosen, and with Kaalhaarman, we are going to have the Beastmen, led by the Doomball. So here on the Bone Zone, all very vanguarded into each other here at the front. Starting with the Beastmen, we are going to have the Chaos Boarhounds on the left, backed up by a Tentacle throwing axe. Two more units of Tentacles here on the left flank, and for the main front line, we are going to have a bucket load of Ungor herds. Here for the hero, we are going to have the Bray Shaman of Wild here, just with Traitorkin on a Tuskor chariot, and it looks like more Tuskors here on the right-hand flank. Goreherds in the middle here, backed up by more Ungors, more Goreherds, a second unit of the Tuskor chariots, and looks like more Centaurs on the right-hand flank. More throwing axes as well, very good armor piercing, and it looks like here we are going to have the Lord's choice, of course, the Doomball. This man here, of course, under the new fruit rules, counts as an SEM model, so that's why you're not going to be seeing any Manticores. So we are going to have Daze for negative melee defense and speed, bucket loads of armor piercing, the Barbed Knuckle boxing, as well as Deadly Onslaught, the Hellfire sword, the Potion of Full Hardiness, Slaughter's Call, and of course, Blood Greed. So, for the Chaos, we are going to have a 1 unit of the Marauder Horsemasters, 4 units here of the Horsemen, backed up here by a cheap front line of the Triple Marauders, double of the anti-large armor-piercing Chaos Warrior Halberds, and a nice, very heavily armored Chaos Warriors. So, for the Hero Corps, we are going to have the double Exalted Hero, backed up by the Lord here with Archaon the Ever-Chosen, here with the Slayer of Kings, Stand or Die, Foe Seeker, Burning Head, the Cascading Fire Cloak, Fireball, and Kindle Flame. In the sky, we are going to have the double terror-causing Ferromanticores, very fast there, 85 speed, and that terror is so handy up against the low leadership here from the Beastmen. In the middle, we are going to have Centaurs chasing here up against the Marauder Horsemen, coming in here with the Chaos Warhounds as well. It looks like here we are going to push forward with the Chaos Marauder, trying to see if we create a little bit of a blockade here. And so the Warhounds a little bit mixed here with Kaalhaarman, not too sure what to do. And looks like here we are now going to catch onto the Marauder Horseman. Should do some nice damage here. The initial engagement should do quite nicely, coming in with that charge bonus. But over time, the Marauder Horseman will start to win. We are going to get a rear charge here from the Marauders. Throwing axes coming in here from the Centaurs. And getting quite a nice surround here coming in from the Beastmen. So charging down here with the double Ferromanticores, doing some nice work on the Bray Shaman. Only 77 speed there for him. Manticore's 85, flying is very handy indeed. Burning Head should be able to come down the line here. Looks like it is going to be overcast up against the Ungor Spearman. It's going to do some damage, but the main line is going to miss here. And it is going to actually catch quite a lot of the Gore herds. So quite a bit of damage, only 15 armor for them. So here in the middle, the Marauder Horsemen are going to be shooting here to Ungor herds. Chasing the back here, Tuskor chariots coming down to Archaon and the double Exalted Heroes. Both of these having Mark of Khorne, basically Frenzy here for pretty much 80 gold, which is so goddamn good. So goddamn good indeed. Tuskor chariots, yep, they're certainly going to be falling down to 2 models. 1,900, 700 health now. They're getting absolutely deleted. An overcast Traitorkin here in the middle. Catching both Exalted Heroes, Archaon, Halberds, and also all of this nice big juicy core. We're going to see Standard Die activated here as we do go with the Doomball. So the Doomball here is going to have quite a lot activated. Fantastic stuff here. He's got the Hellfire Sword, the Barbed Knuckle Boxing, and Deadly Onslaught. 805 armor piercing weapon strength, and also 71 melee attack there with Dazed. It's going to be super strong. He's going to be thumping here in the middle. What's he going to be going after? It looks like here his pressure is going to be maybe on Archaon. It's like Cascading Fire Cloak, Slayer of Kings, Foe Seeker activated, and we are getting butchered here with the Doomball. He's going to be under half health. Looks like he is going to be fighting against the Exalted Hero. That's not a particularly good trade. Now he's going to smash up against the Ferromanticore, and it looks like here the Doomball is going to be dropping to the nice hero and lord pressure of the Chaos. Over in the back, though, the Beastmen have really pushed through the back line, compromising all of these infantry units. They're going to be pretty slow here, and of course the mobility is going to be favouring the Chaos. They are going to be pushing off most of the forces here, but the Chaos have kind of flipped as well. We are going to see Marauder Horsemen in the back here, kiting up against some of the broken Centaurs and some of the low health here of the Gore herds. In the middle here, Centaurs do get terrified by the Manticore. It is going to be rampaged, just charging straight into Gore herds. They're going to get terrified here pretty quickly as well. And they also are going to be losing their Lord here, so it's going to be negative 16 leadership there due to Lord recently dying, which is really unfortunate here for Kaalhaarman and the Beastmen. In the back, we are going to be seeing here Ungor herds fighting up against Chaos Warriors. We're also going to have Centaurs here getting a nice downhill juicy charge here into the Manticore. They should do some lovely good poke and stroke here on the Manticore. Only 45 armor for them, and 29 melee attack should do some good work indeed. It looks like here the Bray Shaman is going to get pushed off. 780 health for him, negative 10 leadership. Archaon has done the big burly damage, and now he's going to be charging back in here to support his Exalted Heroes. And so we are going to get a bit of scoot and shoot here from the Centaur throwing axes. 93 speed here, good armor piercing value, just really throwing here into the face of Archaon. We are going to have the anti-large spearmen as well. They do struggle with AP, but the bonus first large can help here up against Archaon on his lovely mount. But here, looks like we are going to get a burning head straight through the middle of the Ungor spearmen. Burning head misses here just a little bit. It might get the -8 leadership there due to being burnt, but not too much damage overall. So that burning head, unfortunately, is going to be a little bit of a waste of mana. We are going to see throwing axes on Archaon, still doing some nice damage, down to 3,700 HP, even with an overcast as well. Super tanky, this man. Very, very tanky indeed. In the sky, we are going to have the Ferromanticore still charging here, terror routing, breaking, and you name it. They're doing all the work here in the middle. That's why 800 gold here for Ferromanticore is absolute absurdity. In the middle, throwing axes now going to be throwing up against the Chaos Warrior Halberds. 100 armor, but no shields, so his throwing axes are going to be full value. More throwing axes here in the middle, going up against Archaon. He's going to charge headlong up against the Centaurs. That fear will really help. -8 leadership will do a lot of work here up against the Centaurs with no ICP. In the back here, Chaos Marauders are going to be wavering. Big pressure here, throwing axes. Nice melee combatant stats here coming out of Centaurs and pressure from the Ungor Spearmen. Archaon here, Foe Seeker, stand or die here, up to 98 speed. Very handy indeed. That could really help throughout the battlefield, keeping up with the Centaurs. Centaurs kiting here up against Marauder Horseman. Marauder Horseman 90 speed. Also has some good range as well. 80 range, should be able to shoot those javelins into the back of the Centaurs. Now normally they do struggle with lack of armor piercing, but only 35 armor here for the Centaurs means they're going to do some pretty nice damage. They do kill a couple of models. Nice rear charge. -14 leadership. Lord dying as well for -10. That's going to be so many negatives to leadership. That's going to be a gorgeous break here coming in for the Chaos and Hadres. Hadres actually shatters one of the gore herds there in the back, and it's like here the Centaurs throughout the battlefield are going to be struggling, throwing axes here on the Horsemen, doing some nice work. Rear charge from the Centaurs. The micro is so high here from both of these elite players. Coming in the double exalted heroes, balance of power is going to be the Chaos favor. That's going to be army losses. GG's, and well played here for the second game. Hadres is going to be striking back strong here with the Chaos, bringing it back to 1 AP. So well played to Kaalhaarman. Looks like here it's going to be 820 there from the Doom Ball. Of course, with the Doom Ball becoming a single entity monster is really going to struggle here because, of course, the Gore Balls also counting single entity monsters really puts a big pressure on those Manticores. Means you can pretty much, for the most part, only bring one, or if you bring two, you're going to have no hero support here for the Doom Ball. But lots of good stats here that can really buff them up to 805 armor piercing weapon strength, and then also 81 melee attack as well. Can make him very, very strong and very good at sniping characters and heroes. So we are going to be having 1,008 there for the Brave Showman of Wild, 360 for the Ungor Spearherds, with 127, 46, and 220 there for the Ungor Herds. So 100, 225, and 442 there for the Gore Herds, with 650, 250, 300, and 330 for the Centaurs. 290, 530 there for the double tusked chariots, and for the throwing axes here for the Centaurs, 940 and 480. 150 there for the Chaos Warhounds, and they kind of got pulled apart there a little bit early doors. I think coming here with the Chaos Warhounds with poison would have been quite nice. Certainly would have been quite favourable here up against the very fast skirmish cavalry, the Marauder Horsemen. But well played to Hadres, really going to be tying up the series here. 79 kills, 2,100 for Archaon. This man is an absolute beast and really, really underrated in my personal opinion. 430 there for the Exalted Hero, 250 as well. The Mark of Khorne, just given that immune to psychology, the extra melee attack, base weapon damage, charge bonuses, it really does make a difference just for 80 gold. 160 there, 825 in for the Chaos Marauders, very nice indeed, with 313 there for the Chaos Marauders. 320 there for the Chaos Warriors, with for the Halberd variety coming in at 700 and 1,100. Big fan of Chaos Warrior Halberds. 444, 606, 524, and 648 there for the Marauder Horsemen. For the majority there, paying for themselves pretty comfortably, with 274 there for the Marauder Horse Masters. So 902 for the Chaos Ferromanticore, and 370 for the second, for a very strong build here coming in from Hadres. So what a great second game here. So let's pop over and see what we have for the third. So, for the final game in the series, we are going to have Hadres here with the Beastmen, and of course Malagor the Dark Omen, going against Kaalhaarman and the Dowie, and of course the Slayer King. So Ungrim Iron Fist here, leading the forces at the front. The unbreakable Slayer King himself, here with, of course, the Death Blow. Bucket loads of armor piercing and bonus large here of 30. This man was designed to take down big, large monsters. So in the front, we are going to have Dwarf Warriors, good armor, melee defense, and of course shielded. Backed up here by a bucket load of miners with blasting charges. And in the middle pocket, we are going to just have a single Quarreler unit. On the flank, we are going to have the Iron Breakers, good blasting charges, 125 armor, 66 melee defense, making these bad boys here super armored and very tanky indeed. Double cannons here at the back for 440 range, backed up here by 4 units of Slayers, including the Dragonback Slayers. The bad boys here do come in with the slow here from the power of the Dragonback, making them very good here up against fast cavalry. One unit on the flank is going to be the long big great weapons here, the old men of the Dowie forces, coming in with immune to psychology, bucket loads of armor piercing, making them very good indeed. So, for the Beastmen, we are going to have 3 units of the Chaos Warhounds, backed up here by a single unit of Goreherds, 3 units of the Ungol Raiders, and a nice big juicy Cygor. The big man here today, 400 range with 415 armor piercing missile strength, alongside Soul Eater. Not super good against the Dowie, of course they don't have any magic, but better to have it and not need it, than to need it and not have it. But the bad boy here is going to do some big work indeed. Over on the right-hand side, a second Cygor. I absolutely love it here, with Goreherd shields in the middle, backed up by the triple Razor Gore chariots. So the bad boys here are rarely seen. Of course, the Tuskor chariots are a little bit more cost-efficient, but these bad boys are super tanky. 100 armor, 88 charge bonus, thanks to the Primal Fury, anti-infantry armor piercing, good melee stats as well, brilliant leadership. These things can absolutely chew through heavily armored infantry. In the skies, 1 unit of Harpies here to protect up against Malagor, the Dark Omen. So the big man in the sky here, 121 speed of just pure death, coming with the Arcane Conduit, Flock of Doom, Savage Dominion for those Cygor summons, Enfeebling Foe, and the Unholy Power. Now, if I do want to see one thing, this game is going to have to be 4 Cygors. I want to see 4 Cygors on the field all at the same time. That'd be absolutely hilarious. But it looks like here Slayers are going to be on top of the cannons. Cannons are now going to be shooting up against the Cygors. Now, one thing we've got to be careful of course, Cygors have a bucket load of HP, 7,350. And here the cannons do 213 per missile. So 600 per go, that's going to have to be all of them hitting over 10 times. Now, what it means here, that means, unfortunately, with these Cygors, it's probably best to focus down 2 cannons onto 1 Cygor. Otherwise, by the time you take down the big beastie, he's going to have used most of his ammunition. Over in the flanks, we are going to see the Chaos Warhounds coming through. There's not going to be too many targets for them to get onto. Maybe they could do a cap against Slayers. They don't have much armor, of course. But, oh no! Intercept blasting charges coming up against the summoned Cygor here on top of the cannon crew units. So they are going to get pushed off. Nice work there from Kaalhaarman. Brilliant battlefield awareness. Crossbow shooting in. Slayers are on top of the Cygor as well, doing some lovely damage. But, of course, as these cannon crews are going to be off, there's going to be no firing here on the cannon. Which means here we are going to be ripping apart the front line here with these double Cygors. So very weak here is going to be the cannon crew, also smashing in up against the Dwarf Warriors, as well as some more here on the left, just slowly chipping down damage here throughout the Dwarven front line. Harpies coming over the top as well, and I have a small feeling that this cannon crew here is going to be in for a rough day. Slayers are going to be charging back here, Quarrelers moving in as well. We could get the juicy sandwich. Also a Flock of Doom, throwing the absolute kitchen sink here at this cannon crew, really trying to stop these cannons from firing. Of course, if they do, it does mean the Dowie here with their nice slow force is going to have to push up against these big beasties. So the cannon crew here is going to be getting rocks to the face, down to half health, 14 models already. Warhounds are trying to get in. If they do get in here on the cannon crews, they will rip them to shreds. Only 40 armor here. One big boulder miss there away from smashing the Dwarven forces. But it looks like here Slayers are going to be pushing off the Warhounds. Now, if you're very good with Warhounds, they can actually push through almost any infantry in the game. They can actually hit and slam, and they just slither their way through, and they can get straight onto the back here of the cannons. Over here, looks like the summon is going to be leaving the battlefield. It's going to go back to the realms of chaos where it once came, and the Slayers are going to be coming here to protect the cannons. In the back here, we do have miners of blasting charges. We actually get down here with Malagor. He might be able to... No, it looks like he's not going to go in for the kill. He's just going to be swooping around here with the Harpies. Arcane Conduit activated. Maybe try to see if we get some more Flock of Dooms here on the floor. It looks like here some more of the rocks are getting thrown at the cannons. Yet again, a second swoop coming down, and another summon of the Cygor coming on top of this one cannon. This cannon crew are certainly going to be holding very strong here in the middle. The Cygor has been summoned, Slayers are in, and so we're going to be having Dwarf Warriors as well. Flock of Doom, yet again, really trying to delete this cannon crew. It has been terrified, pushed off again. Still, 14 models going strong. Harpies in, fighting up against Slayers. Quarrelers are shooting yet again up against the big Cygor units. Harpies also taking a lot of damage. Only 15 armor for them. They mostly pay for melee defense, making it really difficult to take them off the battlefield. So Razorgors are in the back, absolutely butchering the elite unit here of the Iron Breakers. Blasting charges will do no damage in return, as they do have 100 armor. Slayers, axes high, charging in up against the Razorgors, and they're going to try and get in. They do struggle with a little bit of AP, but that's where their Giant Slayer brothers do come in and hopefully can do the work. And unfortunately, there's going to be none today, so it looks like here running rampant is going to be the Cygors. You can see there should be a big rock slam here going on the floor, and boom, straight on that Slayer. He gets decapitated and then slices there for the last moment up against the Cygor. He's going to break 2,000 HP for him, and it looks like here we're also going to be breaking with the second cannon crew. 6 models left, so we can still fire here on the cannons, hopefully with all 3, but it does look like here the Cygors are going to be doing all the work. Over here on the side, we can see Razorgors just cycle charging through all of the Dwarven infantry. Coming in is going to be Ungrim Iron Fist, getting some big boy damage here up against those Razorgor chariots. Anti-large armor piercing is perfectly what is needed. In the back, looks like this cannon crew, 14 models left. Still going to be 6 of the other one. The Harpies could be a nuisance here in the back. We'll make sure to keep these Longbeards nice and close. 6 models still left. We can still do some very, very nice work indeed. Get both those cannons going, shooting here up against the chariots. It might be a little bit too late here for the Cygors. It's going to be 12 ammunition left there, and also 11 on the others. So Warhound's moving. Warhound's coming around the side. Perhaps a little bit of a skip here. Malagor is going to get away. Warhound's going over to the left-hand flank. We can actually see the return here of the Harpies. These nuisances can certainly fly and take on any engagement they want. It looks like here we are going to be wavering on the cannon crews. Down to 5 models here. If we can kill this, this would be huge coming in for Hadres. They're actually going to shatter, and so we are going to keep 5 models of the cannon crews, so they should be able to get on and still do some juicy work here. Ongol Raiders now in. Now they're going to be firing up against the cannon crew. Only 40 armor, down to 12 models, 11 now here, possibly even 10 coming through. We need to have something that can push forward, maybe some blasting charges that can push off these Ongol Raiders. In the middle here, we can still see Ungrim slashing up against the Razorgor chariots here in the front, pushing out with Iron Breakers as well. These bad boys, 66 melee defense, but with 88 charge bonus, anti-infantry and armor piercing. Even Iron Breakers aren't safe up against these terrifying chariots. On the side here, we do see 2 Warhounds still ready to go. They could get here on the cannon crews. You can see there's lots of pockets opening up here. Pockets at the front they can certainly push through and maneuver around the Dwarven forces. They've got to be careful of the blasting charges. Of course, only 15 armor is really not going to be their best friend. Challenge coming through. All 3 have been targeted here on the miners. These bad boys are about to feel a whole world of different pain. But you can see Ongol Raiders also just leashing volleys of arrows here into the face of the miners. 80 armor is good, but it's not going to help you against this sheer volley coming through. Quarrelers are now going to be firing, trying to shoot here up against the Ongol Raiders. Only 15 armor for them, so they'll also get hit pretty hard as well in return. A little bit too far out here are going to be the miners. They have been caught a little bit here with their pants down, but they are going to be getting charged and cycle charged through by Razorgors, but in comes Ungrim. Ungrim's going to be slashing. Is he going to get it? No, it looks like he might miss. No, yeah, it looks like they're going to get away. That's really unfortunate. 77 speed is going to be enough here for these bad boys to get away. In the middle here, looks like miners are blasting charges. Getting ready on the front line here to try and keep back the Ongol Raiders. Cannon crews are still going to be there. 3 models still ready to fire. The other one has been broken again. Malagor being an absolute nuisance here in the back. Down to 5 models here. Do we have anything? It looks like Kaalhaarman is going to give up chase. 121 speed is a lot to deal with. Dwarves are so slow, and if they push away, they are going to lose this very, very nice formation. So getting pulled out a little bit here, we are going to see 2 of the Dwarf Warriors are a little bit out of shape, no support. I think here the Dwarves have to kind of go all in. Unfortunately, the Dwarf Warriors are going to be now getting pushed on by Gorherds, and they can do pretty well here. 42 melee attack, can certainly do well up against 40 melee defense. Warhounds are in. They're going to be chasing here, doing some nice stuff. Looks like we should get the break, and the Warhounds should be able to clear them off. We can get the Razorgors and the Gorherds here back against the front line. Now, Gorherds actually do pretty well here as long as they do keep their leadership. They can do very nicely up against Slayers. They're very, very good counters indeed. We are going to see big rocks coming over the top here, slamming up against Iron Breakers and Slayers, and it's not really a good day here for the Dowie. Balance of power is going to be favouring the Beastmen. It's pretty close here. We give it a little bit of a push on. We can see Razorgors going to the left-hand side. We are seeing a nice good chase here on the Dwarf Warriors in from the Chaos Warhounds. In the back end, Warriors could get a bit of fire pressure here. They do have some missile resistance, but still they're going to be feeling the pain. Even crossbow bolts can do quite nicely here up against Razorgore chariots. 6 armor piercing per missile is not too bad either, but look at this. This is going to be terrifying. Even one chariot coming through should still be knife like butter here. Look at that. Just straight through the middle. No cares in the world given. They're just going to be charging down the Dwarf Warrior units like they don't even exist. The Slayer King is in, but he's going to be too slow here to really help. Even with 32 speed, it's just not going to be enough. Malagor the Dark Omen is still cycling around, maybe trying to see if we get into the back of the Slayers. It could be a bit painful for him, but he does have some targets. Weak Iron Breakers there in the back. Miners and Blasting Chargers in the back there have been left on their own. Looks like it is going to be a Flock of Doom down here on the Dwarf Warriors and the Slayers. You can see here Razorgore cycling still through the front line, and now we are going to move in here with the Ungol Raiders. Ungol Raiders are a great counter here up against these Slayers. If we get some good volleys in, it could be some very good work indeed. Now, Corners still have 80 armor. They do have bronze shields as well, so it's not a good target there for Ungol Raiders. They could do quite nicely here, though, up against Longbeards. Longbeards do have 100 armor, but they don't have any shields, so it's only going to be the armor there that's going to resist all of these incoming missiles. Malagor is going to be moving away. Arcane Conduit activated. Maybe trying to see here we get some more Flock of Dooms. It's like the triple Razorgore is just going to be cycle charging the Dwarf Warriors off the edge of the map. Same is said here for the Miners of Blasting Charges. The Chaos Warhounds will be moving in and doing all the Chaos Warhound things. Now the Dwarves here, Kaalhaarman, a very good Dwarven player indeed, is going to be keeping the forces nice and tight together. But you can see here all of the ammunition getting used from one Cygor. The second, the same as well actually. So very good usage there coming out of Hadres. Arrows are now firing over the top. And so they are choosing to target down the Quarrelers. Of course, here they still do have 5 ammunition, so they have a lot of volleys left here to go. And the good counters here as well up against the Ungol Raiders. A little bit of scoot and shoot at the front line here. Razorgore Chariots just doing the absolute beastery here still. Even up against Slayers, they'll do some very, very nice work indeed. Slayers, as well as the Miners of Blasting Charges, are going to get targeted there by a Flock of Doom. And Malagor, he's going to get to 11 kills. I thought he'd be up by more by now, but of course Flock of Doom is not super strong. We are going to see Ungrim coming a little bit out of the way here. Looks like he's going to be on his own. Nice big juicy push here. Might be able to catch. Unfortunately here, I think he was targeted on this Razorgore. It looks like he's going to give up chase. He might have got a good kill here on one of the Razorgores, but looks like they are going to get away for today. Gorehead's moving in. Ungol Raiders as well. So we are going to get a bit of push here on the left flank. And it looks like it is going to be the big push coming in from the Beastmen. Here in the right flank, Gorehead's getting close. Razorgores are going to charge the front line. Looks like they're feigning out here for the blasting charges. Ironbreakers and Miners looks like they're trying to get some free damage here on the Goreheads, but before they get cycle charged by the Death Blob. In the middle, arrows firing to the backside of the Longbeards. Blasting charges over the top, though, on the Goreheads. This could really rip apart the nice mid-tier infantry. And so we are going to cycle charge here. Oh, so much damage. Flock of Doom as well, catching Ironbreakers and also Slayers and Miners. In the middle here, we are going to see Ungrim chasing up against the Cygor. He can thump pretty hard as well, though. 450 armor-piercing weapon strength can really donk on the face there of Ungrim Iron Fist. Blasting charges coming here up against the Ungol Raiders. He's going to be slamming here in the middle. Looks like we have Slayers. 2 units backed up by Ungrim Iron Fist, the king of all the Slayers. And he is going to be bringing down here the big BC. That big battle axe can certainly bring down the biggest foe here that Warhammer has ever seen. In the back, we can see Slayers getting pushed on here by Chaos Warhounds. Same here for Longbeards, getting chased off here by even more of those doggos. In the middle, we are going to be breaking with the Goreherds here. It looks like we're still going to be having 47 models, 2,100 HP, so we should see a return from them. We're now going to see a shattered unit of the Dwarf Warriors. All of those will be off the battlefield at this point. Flock of Doom here, doing some good damage up against the Miners and the Quarrelers in the back. Cycle charging here with Razorgores, pushing on with Chaos Warhounds. Blasting charges absolutely everywhere. This battle has really tuned up now. We are going to be seeing slams coming down here for the big rocks from the Cygors as they're fighting up against Slayers and the Big King. In the middle here, blasting charging Miners are struggling here up against the pressure of Malagor. And it looks like here, still fire coming in. More shooting and scooting here from the Ungol Raiders. In the middle here, Razorgore still going to be chasing off the Quarrelers. Nice break there in the back. Same here for the Miners. Returning is going to be the Ironbreakers. Absolute heroes here. We are going to be having 17 models, 625 HP, 2 leadership. They could break here with the Miners coming over though. It looks like French routing -6. They are going to hold. What absolute champions. We're going to see Slayers still fighting up against Razorgores. They're almost impossible to pin in. The Razor Gore here, still one left, down to 410, negative 32 leadership. He is going to break, and that could be the first Razor Gore down. Big win here for the Dowie. Balance of power, though, is pulling slightly into the, even more here, into the Beastmen favour. Arcane Conduit for Malagor the Dark Omen. Dragonback Slayers and Slayers are going to regroup here in the back. The Slayer King is going to be chasing after the Cygor. Cygor does donk onto the face there of Ungrim, but he does care for no rocks. He's going to come in with a bit of battle axe. And lovely swing here up against the Cygor. 3,400 HP, but cycle charging here for the Razor Gores could be pretty painful. Coming in as well here for Malagor the Dark Omen. The Slayers need to come in now. But you can see the big missile pressure here. Still lots of ammunition for the Ungol Raiders. Moving in for the second Cygor as well. Ungol Raiders here are going to be fighting in melee combat here up against these Slayers. They could do some pretty good work indeed. Goreheads still fighting in the middle here. Goreheads still coming in with 31 melee attack, even if they are going to be losing all of those bonuses. Ungol Raiders still shooting. It looks like it's pretty much just going to be Slayers and the Slayer King left. Not quite balance of power yet. We do see some miners coming back. We could get some good blasting charges here on the Ungol Raiders. But it looks like here the Razor Gore Chariots, nice mobility here, and good micro coming in from Hadres is going to notice that early doors. Coming over here is going to be yet another cycle charge here through the infantry, and look at that. Miners absolutely everywhere. Really unfortunate to see here for any Dwarven main, but of course here for the Beastmen, absolute fun. We can see here in the middle more Ungol Raiders shooting up against these Slayers. They are really starting to get into these low numbers now. So 40 models here. Ungrim is really low on his health. Balance of power is super close. You can see wavering here in the back are going to be the miners. Still wavering are the, look at those Razor Gore Chariots. 2 models on 440 HP each. We do break with one of the Cygors though. It looks like here one has fallen. There's going to be one here wavering. So Ungrim has more than done his job here in the middle. Looks like we are going to be shooting and scooting a little bit more here with the Ungol Raiders. Looks like we are going to be pushing there with some Dragonbacks, trying to do and finish off these ranged tools. But there's just so many Ungol Raiders everywhere. There's going to be some shooting them from behind, some shooting here from the flank very quickly. And it looks like here the other cycle is going to be down to 390 HP. So we could see a turnaround here coming in from the Dwarves. It looks like here Ungrim Iron Fist is going to be challenging up against the Ungol Raiders. Malagor coming into the back here up against the miners and blasting charges. Still have one of the Razor Gores here in the middle. We could cycle charge and push off Ungrim Iron Fist. Looks like he's going to take the charge there, really prevent them from getting on top of the Ungol Raiders. He's going to be down to 1,700 HP. Miners are going to move into the back here of the Ungol Raiders. And no, that looks like it's going to be army losses before they reach. No, maybe? No, it's army losses. That is so unfortunate here. So we are going to see Ungrim. It's just going to be the Slayers left here. Let's have a little look. We are going to have Dragonbacks pushing off the Ungol Raiders. That's still going to be 28 models there, 1,000 HP. Oh no, big punch to the face there. Ungrim takes a rock here from the ginormous Cygor. He should be able to swing and finish him off here, 411 HP. Are we going to see the finish here for Ungrim Iron Fist, though, is the question. And there we go, the big finish of the monster. He does fall, but he has more than done his job. Malagor is now going to be fighting up against Ungrim. Can Ungrim potentially bring this back? I highly doubt it. Balance of power has already kicked in here with army losses. And it's like here the Goreheads should be able to finish off the big Slayer King. In the back here, it looks like the Slayers are getting dragged down by sheer numbers, 700 HP, and it's like here the Slayer King does fall, so it's just going to be here with the Dragonback Slayers fighting up, pushing off the Ungors and the Goreheads, but unfortunately I don't think there's going to be enough here to finish off this game. Arrows moving in, Malagor's going to help, and that is going to be a finish to a fantastic series here between both of these legends. So thank you so much for these guys for playing on live stream. It was such a good series that I had to share it yet again here on YouTube for all of you to see. But we are going to be seeing Ungrim Iron Fist here coming in at 1,820 damage value. Excellent work there from him. A very nice pick indeed. We are going to see 350, 370, 470, and 0 here for the minus of blasting charges. This one here must have got taken down by those big burly rocks. 92, 85, and 170 for the Dwarf Warriors. They were certainly picked off pretty early days, and only 150 there for the long big great weapons. 2,097, 2,064, 580, and 1,350 here for the quadruple Slayers. Very, very good in this matchup. The only thing that heavily counters them is going to be the skirmish cavalry with the throwing axes there, and then also the triple Ungol Raiders. But these bad boys can do very well up against even their mid-tier infantry here with Goreheads. They'll even challenge with the Giant Slayers. They'll even do pretty good there up against the Bestigors. We have the Iron Breakers coming 5 kills, 430 damage value. Quarters at 1,450 with 520 and 340 for the cannons. So well played to Hadres, taking the series, and he actually moved on into the final there to go to play up against Ice Power. I do have that best of 3. I might cast it in the future. If you do want to see that, do leave a comment down below and say, yes, I'd love to see that best of 3 series. We're going to see 950 damage value for Malagor the Dark Omen, 560 for the Gore Herds, with 600 for the second. So 590, 470, and 340 for the Ungor Raiders. Razorgore Chariots 900, 1,450, and 1,624. Very good indeed. I really do still like Razorgore Chariots. Of course, here they are very strong. They're more heavily armoured than their smaller brothers. The Tuscars can do well, but these boys are, of course, the Dons. We are going to have 470, 288 and 167 there for the Chaos Warhounds, with 286 there for the Harpies, with 908 and 1,300 for the Cygors. So what an awesome best of 3 here between both of these legends. If everybody did enjoy this, of course, please smash that like button. It really helps me know that you did enjoy it, and it's a really good way of supporting my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to subscribe. It really does help growth there. So, of course, the more we grow, the more I can show you here for Warhammer 3, and the earlier that I can show it to you guys. Other than that, check out that description where you can find my other social media platforms, including Twitter and Twitch, but most importantly, that Discord, where you can join, leave replays just like this one, so you can hopefully see it here on the YouTube in the future. So other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourself during these times, and I'll see you all very, very soon.